Now, in my particular one of my accounts, here are some of the particular filters I put into my account to actually generate a list of companies to consider. So you don't want to have thousands and thousands of companies to actually evaluate. So if you look very closely, here's some of the things I put in to actually filter the types of companies to evaluate for actually using these strategies on. And your particular brokerage account may have different types of interfaces, but you want to learn how to use the filtering tools in your account. So getting familiar with the filtering tools in your brokerage account will help you. But here's an example of some of the variables I put in. In what I did is I put this in the screening tool. I'm looking for certain prices. I want to make sure the particular stock has options. I want to make sure it has dividends. What kind of ratings? Does it have a high rating or low rating? 3, 4, 5-star rating? I'm trying to find companies that have a track record of actually having the probability of being successful and having been successful in the past, even though the past does not guarantee the company is going to have that success in the future. But these are some of the things that I put in, and I was able to actually get an indication of how particular stocks compare to others so that I can generate a list of companies to consider. Now, in this particular training course, we have exercises. So you need to grow your knowledge and learn how to fly and look at the examples and look at the examples of what some of the things I was able to put into my screening tool. And you can put the same types of things in your screening tool on your particular brokerage account. So you want to create a list of companies to evaluate. See, the inputs is not particularly critical that you put in the exact same variables I do, but you want to narrow that search down so that we generate a list of companies to evaluate. So you want to learn how to fly, learn how to invest, learn how to generate income by strategies, real easy strategies. So you're going to stop the course on the next page and look at the examples and take your time. The objective here is not to rush through this course. The objective is for you to learn how to evaluate, how to pick stocks, and how to use very simple strategies to actually create income. So get familiar with your particular the screening tools in your brokerage account and look at the example I have and take your time, learn to use the tools and learn how to generate a list of companies rather than having thousands and thousands of companies. The goal is to try to generate a list so that we can further evaluate it to use very simple strategies to generate weekly income. So take your time. You can stop the course, take your time, and look at your broker's account. Be familiar with where things are located and how to use the tools, the free tools available to you. Okay, what did we accomplish in this objective here? What was our objective? What we wanted to do, we wanted you to actually, you should have now some type of list as a result of going through this analysis. You should have some type of list of stocks that we can process in the future. Now, if you were not able to actually generate that list. Another way would be to use a Google search and actually search for weekly options. Now, this method is going to be more intense because it's going to be there are going to be so many different pieces of information and types of companies with the Google search. So it's going to be really, really aggressive as far as labor, but that is another way if you were not able to do that with your account. Okay, we have an exercise. In this course, it's critical that you learn how to actually do certain processes in your account so that it burns in, so that you're able to function independently and actually evaluate particular stocks. So you're going to stop the course on the next page, but take a look at, again, some of the filtering I've done to actually analyze a whole list of stocks. Look, for example, looking for an industry. When you're evaluating a stock, if you can find an industry that you know something about, that's a great way to get started. Or something you're willing to research. Again, trying to find the stock with the highest paying dividends, the highest paying dividends relative to its peers. Also, we're doing weekly options. So the options generally have an expiration date that's on Fridays. So you're looking for the expiration dates for Fridays. Stocks with histories of being profitable over time, 5 years or so. We're trying to get that list small so we don't have a lot of companies in which to process. Stocks with good ratings. Again, we're trying to get stocks with very good ratings. As we continue on, we want you to stop the course and continue to process process this list and actually generate your own list of companies based on some of these recommendations. Look at some of the things that might be important to actually evaluate. Like, for example, is the company meeting the quarterly earnings? How about companies with low PE ratings relative to its peers, price to earnings, low beta rating? A company with less volatility, with a lower beta rating, it would have less volatility. Stocks you can purchase hundreds of shares of over time, hundreds of shares. So you want to be very comfortable buying stocks that you really actually have researched and believe in. So go ahead, take your time, learn how to fly, grow your knowledge. And after this, you can start the course back up again. Okay, to review, things to consider as we went through before, an industry you know something about or researched. Company that pays dividends, that's a good idea. It's a good idea, very good idea to have a company that pays dividends, because even if you don't sell options for that particular week, you have the dividends. Company that actually has the weekly options, they usually expire, they expire on Fridays. You will see that on the date that it's a Friday. Profitable over time, a company that's profitable over time. Also, a company that has good ratings, a good rating, where there are things to consider, like a good rating compared to a rating that's not so good. Company that's meeting the earnings. Company with a low price to earnings, a PE rating. We're looking for companies with a low beta, very low beta rating. And company where you can buy hundreds of shares and you're very comfortable buying hundreds of shares. So those are some of the things that we're looking to actually use to evaluate a list of stocks, to make that list small, so that when we get to using these simple strategies with selling covered calls and selling cash secure puts, we're very comfortable with the companies that we have chosen. So again, these things that I had previously gone through, some of the filters, looking at some of the filters, these filters may be different in your account, but these are some ideas to actually use to actually get a smaller list of companies to evaluate, to consider.